Hello, welcome to this video and to my channel. If you're new, I am Leirum ASMR, and as the title says, this video is going to be an introduction to chess. Lately, chess has become very popular, also thanks to the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit, and I myself have been one of those intrigued by chess thanks to that series. If I have to be honest, when I was a little bit younger, like 10 years ago, I've been playing chess a lot, but I've never been as passionate about chess as I am. As I've been recently. And so I decided to make an ASMR video about chess. So this video is going to be divided into, well, I'd say two parts. The first part, gonna explain very little chess history, and then I'm going to explain the basis of the game and the rules. So how the pieces move, what are the pieces, and so on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can use this video to relax. And so let's begin. So reading from Wikipedia, chess is a board game played between two players. I would add that it's a strategy board game. Strategy is very important in chess. Then Wikipedia says the current form of the game emerged in Southern Europe during the second half of the 15th century, in Italy and Spain to be precise. But the origins of the games are Indian. So around the 6th century after Christ, in India, the game was born. And the word chess, which in my language, Italian, is scacchi, originated from the original name was from the Persian Shah, and in Persian, Shah means king. So the title of the game actually is King, and the king is the most important piece of the game. So now I'm going to talk you through the elements of the game. So I'm going to move you around and show you. This is the chessboard. We can count the squares and find out that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 64 squares, 32 white and 32 black. This chess this chess set, sorry, this is my boyfriend's, and sorry, I did not have black and white pieces. I only had green and red, but in the original chess game, there's the white pieces and the black. I fixed this so that these are the white pieces and those are the black pieces. So you have 64 squares and 16 pieces each each player has 16 pieces. And the pieces are as follows. You have 1 king. Here it is. The king, as I said before, is the most important piece. It's the piece that you have to protect. Then you have 1 queen, which is the most powerful pieces, as you will discover. Then you have 2 bishops. These bishops have mustache. Okay, then you have 2 knights, which is funny to me because knight, is the man over the horse. But you just have a horse here, and in the game, the piece is just a horse. Usually there's no knight over the horse. I don't know if you find that funny, but I find it kind of funny. And the last piece, next to last piece is the rook. This is a rook. Maybe inside there's a princess or something, or a prince imprisoned in this rook, right in this window. I don't know. Okay, the last piece, the really last piece, is this one. This is the pawn. It looks like in this version that I have chess, it looks like how do you say, farmer, because of the overalls. He has overalls and mustache. All the pawns are male in this version. Well, this is the pawn. It's sad. The word pawn has become a synonym for a useless person, or a person that is used, or or someone useless. I guess it has negative connotations. And maybe when you start playing chess, you think that it's really like that, and the pawn really has no use, or little to no use at all. But actually, this guy right here is very, very important. As important as all the other pieces. It has maybe less attack strength, and it is worth a little bit less, but if you use it right, you can very well win a game of chess with this guy. Which brings me, now that we've done the introductions, I should tell you how you win at chess. What is the purpose of this game? Well, the purpose of each player is to do checkmate. And you do checkmate by attacking the king, this king right here, by attacking the king and making it so that there are no legal moves for the king to be defended or to run away. And that is called checkmate. You will also know that check means that you are attacking the king directly, but you can escape from check. You cannot escape from checkmate. So, why the squares, and how do you use the squares? Well, as you can see at the beginning of the game, the pieces are put in this order. Let me show you better like this. The pieces are put in the first 2 rows of the chessboard. And as you know, the chess language uses letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. uses numbers and letters to describe every square. So this is going to be A1, this is going to be A2, this is going to be B1, and so on. Myself, personally, I have not yet mastered this chess language because I think you have to be a little advanced, or well, at least you have to have been playing chess for some years to be able to remember quickly what square is c3, or what square is e4, and so on, even if after a while you might remember one or two. For example, the most common opening squares, you are going to remember them, maybe e4 or e5. Well, I'm going to show you. e4 is this, and e5 is the black's answer to white's e4. But before we speak about opening, I wanted to show you the moves that each piece can do. And for me personally, this is the, I guess, hard part in the beginning of chess, is that there are so many pieces on the board. You have 16 pieces and the opponent has 16 pieces. So you have to control so many pieces in the beginning. It's so easy to blunder. So in the chess language, blunder means do a mistake. I don't know, maybe you will say blunder in other contexts, but me, myself, as a non-native English speaker, I've only heard blunder in chess talk. So let's go over the moves of all the pieces. So let's start with the pawn. So this pawn right here, the pawn, it can go only forward, never backward. So it can go forward by 2 only at the beginning of the game when it's on the second row. And it can only do it once, of course. So from here, all of these pawns can move like this. And like this, by 1. This is the standard move. Like this. After you've moved them a first time, they can only move 1 forward. 1 forward. 1 forward. And to capture, the pawns never capture forward. So for example, let's show you in a real game of chess, how can the pawn capture? Of course, I haven't said this, but so I have to remind you that since there are 2 players, the players do 1 move per player, and you cannot do 2 moves in a row, of course. And the first move is up to white here. So, for example, if white goes e4, now black has to answer. And since we've seen the pawn move, let's go with d5. We have e4 and d5. These pawns are not one in front of the other. They went straight. And now they're meeting here like this. And the way the pawn catches another piece, any piece, is by taking its square. The capture happens like this all the time in chess. The capturing pieces take the squares of the capture piece. The capture piece goes outside of the board, and this is how the pawn eats a piece. So it eats it diagonally. From one side or from the other side, it doesn't matter. He will eat it. He can also choose not to eat it, for example. So in this case, this white pawn can choose to take or to go forward. Okay. Another important thing about pawns is that you can make it a mission for yourself to win the game, to arrive with this pawn up until the end of the board here. For example, if you do like this and say black moves other pieces, now you're attacking this piece and black ignores it. You take this piece, and let's say black doesn't know the rules of chess and plays another move. You can take the tower here. I assure you this will never happen, but it's just an example. When the pawn arrives here, you can turn this pawn into any piece you want except for the king. So you will take this pawn, and say you've lost a queen during this game, you can make a queen. Or even if you already have a queen, you can have two queens. And with two queens, your opponent is in a pinch, definitely. So let's put this back. When you have a pawn that has no one in front of him, like this is a passed pawn. It means it passed the other player's defense and can be really dangerous during the ending of chess. Okay. Oh, as you see, I am missing a pawn here. I forgot to put a substitute piece. I'll just have to put my earring over it so that you see this is a pawn. Okay, we've done pawns. Now let's go to rooks. This is a rook. It's on the corners of the board. Okay, here, 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 and here. And the rook moves straight like this. How many squares you want? They just had to be in a line, horizontally and vertically. Of course, even in the rook's case, you only have one move. So if it's your turn, you can go from h3 to a3, or from a3 to a6. That was not very ASMR. I'm gonna edit it so that it's less loud, like this. So the rook is pretty powerful, like this. The way the rook captures is the same way that it moves. So it's not like the pawn that eats diagonally. The rook eats straight, like this. And the poor pawn is eaten. Okay? Like this. I will tell you after we finish the moves the values of each piece. After we have the knight, or the horse, but it's called knight. See, this is very pretty. I don't know if it was painted handmade, but it's really nice. I really like it. So the knight is the strangest in movement And, well, if you've ever played chess, you probably remember that it moves in an L shape. So 3 straight and 1 horizontal, like this, an L. And it can move L's all around him if the squares are free. So it can move here, it can move here, because you can also do 1 and 3. It can move here, 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 and here. So, for example, let's see an opening position with pawns and knights. The white, let's say it starts with e4, and black replies with e5. Now, a very common second move for white is this knight that starts in G to f3, knight in f3. And this knight, guess what, attacks this pawn, because it can move this way and it can eat people. It can eat pieces with an L movement, like this. So if black doesn't defend this pawn and plays a stupid move, white will most definitely get a pawn. So I've shown you an opening position. Now it's time we learn bishop. How does the bishop move with the tall hat? I guess bishop means that he's a church guy, like an important person in church, but I don't see any indication that this is a religious man or whatever. The bishop, so let's do an example. I've opened with d3. The bishop can move diagonally, not one square, but any squares he wants. So now this bishop can move like this, or if it's free, he can also move like this. If he's in the middle of the board, like here, the bishop can move here, and here, and here, and here. Only the pawns cannot move backwards. Every piece can go forward and backwards. The bishop is interesting because there's bishop on a dark square, and this is going to be the dark square bishop. And the other bishop, as you can see here, is on a light square, and this is going to be the light square bishop, because you can see these bishops are never gonna meet each other. He goes here and the other goes here. They can meet like this, high, high, but they can never be in the same square. And this goes the same with the black bishops here and here. So the white piece bishop here is gonna fight with this white squared bishop here, and the dark squared bishops are gonna fight with each other. Now we've seen almost all the pieces. We're just missing the queen and the king. So the queen, I said before that it's the most powerful piece, because it is. Because the queen can move almost however she wants. The only move that the queen cannot do is the horse move. The queen cannot move in an L shape, but she can move by one. She can move like the rook. Of course, this is one move and this is another move. She cannot do like mixed move and go everywhere. Of course, it's always just one move, but she can do like the rook, she can do like the bishop, or she can do just like a pawn. 1, 2, but in all directions. So she can move like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and so on. And this last piece, the king, is exactly like I've shown right now with the queen. The king can go in all of his surrounding squares. This square right here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. The king can move around himself, and that's it. He can go forward, he can go backwards, but he can go just one step at a time. So he's not a very fast piece, but like the pawns, the king becomes very, very important during the end of a match. So now, very briefly, I will explain that there is a system of points in the chess game. So when you capture another piece, an opponent's piece, it's like you take away points from him. And the more points you are in advantage, the more likely it is that you'll be able to win. In not advanced games, like if two beginners, I didn't have the word beginning, if two beginners play chess, it might happen that one opponent has lost a lot of pieces and still manages to win and do checkmate. But in the most advanced games, usually, if you are behind in a lot of points, you might just have to resign. You can resign as a way of saying I will definitely lose by checkmate, so I have no hope. I just give up and resign. So the points are divided as follows. The pawns are 1 point each for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Then we have the tower. The tower is very strong. It's worth 5 points. So it's the second most strong piece. Second strongest piece. Now we have the knight. Together with the bishop, the knight and bishops are worth 3 points each. So they are worth the same, although since they move in different ways, you can argue that their importance may vary depending on the point in the game, if it's the opening, if it's the middle game, or it's the ending. This queen right here is worth 9 points, which makes it the strongest piece in the board. And this is because, like I told you, she can move in all sorts of ways. So it's really easy if you're not careful to do checks with the queen. Of course, the king is not worth any point, because if you lose the king, you lose the game, and so it cannot be worth any points. So, for example, let's try out some game and experiment these points I've just explained. So white will do e4, and black will do e5, like this. If white goes to f3 with the knight, and black is not careful and doesn't defend the pawn and attacks a pawn, well, this is not a bad move. Black can just decide, I don't want to defend, I want to attack. This way, if white takes this pawn, white gains 1 point, and it's 1 point in advance. But if black also takes this pawn, eats this pawn, well, they will be square again, and there will be no difference in material. So the point of the game is not only to, well, of course, the main point is check the king, but it's also very important to try and eat the opponent's pieces so that you are in a strategical and numerical advance. And that's it. So, since this video was called an introduction to chess, I'd say that this is as much information as I can give you for now. We may see at some chess games in another video if you are interested. But I'm a little wary of this because I am not an advanced player. Well, actually, I feel like I'm not very good at it, never, but I want to learn to play a little bit better. So maybe next time I will be able to play a bit with you and show you how I lose at chess. Just kidding, I will do my best. So thanks for watching this video. Give it a go, try to play it at chess if you were interested, and let me know how it goes. And if you like this type of video, let me know, so I will do more like this. So thanks for watching, and see you guys another time, and good night.